Good morning, good people. Rashid here with M2G Exterior Cleaning Services, and today is test day. All right, so let's talk about it. First of all, let's like and subscribe. Um, I didn't know that a lot of stuff that I was doing was a lot more helpful than I thought, or it was as helpful as it actually is. But apparently, there are some people who actually do watch my videos and get some good information from it. But anyway, here it is. Again, don't mind nothing else. just don't pay attention to nothing else. I got to get this cleaned out and set up right and everything else. But Predator 420. Again, I don't have a battery for it yet. I'm still gonna get a battery. I did move my pull cord so that I can pull it from this angle. Excuse me. Allergies, man. 4.4 GPM pump from Amazon. 225 off of Amazon. 350 total. Well, excuse me, 350 for my Predator engine, and total 575. Less than $600 for a 4.4 GPM setup. So the purpose and goal of today is to, one, make sure it's gonna run. Still ain't put gas in it yet, but I got gas. I ain't put gas in it. I did put oil in it, did spill a little bit, but I put oil in it. I'm about to put the gas in it now. I got everything set up. Already got my hoses hooked up. Got my bucket for my flow rate so I can test that out. A couple things that I want to figure out today. First thing is make sure it all runs right, make sure nothing's gonna explode on me, blah, 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 blah. Second thing, flow rate. Do my bucket test. See exactly what I'm getting as far as the flow rate goes. Third thing, figure out how my chemical is gonna pull. I am gonna wash two sides of this house. The wind is really kicking today. I'm only gonna do two sides of this house, so I do want to see how much of that I'm gonna end up using just with two sides of the house, and I want to see the rinse down of it as well. And I also want to see if I'll be able to rinse with a ball valve. I don't have a DN10 ball valve. I just don't. This is the ball valve that I have. It does everything that I needed to do, but I've never rinsed with it just because I can't. 3 GPM, 2.5 GPM, and 3 GPMs, you can't really rinse with those. You got to have a lot more flow in order to do it. So I'm going to see if there's enough flow to be able to do it. I am going to do everything with a siphon. I am going to do everything with the downstream injector because I do everything with the downstream injector. I don't X-jet. I rarely X-jet. I have before when I just absolutely needed to, because I had to end up using 200 feet of hose and my 2.5 or my 3 couldn't pull with the downstream. But everything I do is with the downstream. I either got my downstream in my chemical, in my soap, or I got it in my bucket of water. So it's either going to be in my soap or it's going to be in my water, one or the other. So I am going to run the test with the downstream. I know this little bit of restriction here could affect that flow, but we'll see. Anyway, let me go ahead and get this crunk up. Let's get rolling. Let's see what happens. All right, so right off the rip, definitely way more flow. I mean, definitely a whole lot more flow. I can rinse with it, so it is strong enough that I can rinse with my ball valve. So I was able to do that. I'm about to do the backside of my cousin's house now, but it's definitely got way more flow and way more punch. So yeah, let me turn this around. Sorry, I had to fan that out a little bit. Now I should be pulling chemical. If I'm not, I need to go check my downstream injector and make sure, but definitely pulling way more. And yeah, this is great. Yeah, we gonna be all right. So my downstream injector wasn't pulling. This is old, man. This thing has been beat up. But anyway, one of the easy ways to fix this, because I know a lot of times people think that these go out, which they do, but the ball that's inside of these gets stuck to the O-ring that's at the top of it. A lot of times if you take a wrench, you open this up and you pull that ball down and loosen that suction from that water that is stuck to in there, you can actually run these downstream injectors forever, man. Because I do it just about every time. All I do is I take this off, clear the water out, clear the ball out of it, and get it loosened from that O-ring, and it works back fine. So I'm gonna hook it back up. But one thing that I will say that has saved my life a lot is this little 4-way. This is underrated because this is my poly braid that runs to my pump. Instead of having to go all the way back over there, cut the water all the way off, come back over here, then drain this, all I gotta do is turn that switch and cut my water off. And in the meantime, if I do end up having to run my batch mix or fill my water tank or whatever, which yes, I do have a float valve in it, I can just cut those on and still let the water flow. But that's very underrated. Get you one of those. I'm happy. Very much so. After I cleaned my downstream injector port, and got that flowing the way I needed to. It pulled chemical just fine. I am gonna play around, because that's a 1.8 injector. I am gonna play around with a 2.1 injector just to see if it makes a difference. Not today, but yeah, this thing definitely does everything I needed to do, man. For less than $600, I can't complain. Definitely a much stronger machine, obviously. You can feel the power, you can feel it in the flow, you can feel it in the pressure. Again, I'm not playing with the pressure gauge on that. I'm just not, because like I said, I did that one time before, and not too long after I started playing with the pressure dial on that thing, the pump actually messed up to the point that whole thing just came off. So I don't play with that no more. It just is what it is. Whatever it is when it come out the factory is just the way I'm gonna run my stuff. Flow, much better. And I mean crazy flow. Compared to my 3 GPM that I was running. M5 twist is gonna reach a 3-story, no problem. I put the shooter tip on, slap the crap out of these gutters, no problem. If I were really doing this whole house, because again, this is my cousin's house, this is my test house, quote unquote. He lets me use his house to do some things and test equipment. If I was doing this whole house as a job, I promise you I'd be in and out of here an hour or less, because that was very, very, very fast. And the rinse down, as far as using the ball valve for a rinse, it could work. It's not as much flow as I want it to be, but that could be because of that particular ball valve. If I do buy a DN10 and try to rinse down with it, it might actually do a little bit better, and I might invest in one. I don't know, I'll see. Bucket test. I just did the bucket test to get my flow. 5-gallon bucket, 59 seconds. I'm happy. 5-gallon bucket, 59 seconds. I'm happy. It's getting way closer to 5. And again, I did everything with the downstream injector on because that's the way I would do everything anyway. So all the restriction that it has is the same restriction that it would always have. I am thinking about skipping this whip line to the machine, putting this whip line to the reel, putting this whip line on the reel and just pulling the hose off and putting it directly on the downstream, which probably would save a little bit of flow there. But honestly, guys, I'm happy. Like I really am happy. Like I said, man, this is a toolsy. You need warm. Like, that's a little warm, but my God, like, I can put my hand on that and I just cut this off, literally. Like, this is still steaming. Yeah, like, I'm not touching that, but this, oh my God. Again, I got it on a discount from Harbor Freight. $350 for the machine, $225 for the pump. Less than $600, and I'm getting almost a 5 GPM setup. And I'm not gonna say that it is a 5 out the tip, because out the gun it might not be a 5. Out the gun, because that's definitely 5 gallons. That's definitely 5 gallons in 60 seconds. So it's definitely pushing 5 out the ball valve, but out the gun, it might only push that 4.4. However, I'm happy. I really am. And I debated for the longest on going to the 6 and running the 6, running the buffer tank and all that. But then I would have had to buy a pump with a gearbox or a pump with a belt. I'm not doing it. You know, I told y'all before, I'm not necessarily cheap in the sense of I don't appreciate quality, because yes, I do. But at the same time, I still fight for my small guys. I still fight for my small setups, and I just firmly believe you do not need thousands of dollars worth of stuff to do this. So for less than $600, you got a machine and a pump that can do everything. Because again, I've done apartments with my small machine. I've done dumpster pads, restaurants, houses. I haven't done a surface cleaner with this yet, so I'm definitely interested to run a surface cleaner with it. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't feel like doing my cousin's whole driveway, and I don't want to leave just half his driveway done. But I've done all of those things with a small machine. So with this 4, I guarantee I can do all of that and then some, and do it faster. So I always say, get what you can afford. Don't let the industry fool you into thinking you got to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on doing stuff. So with that being said, you can get the setup, the machine and the pump, less than $600. You get you 150 feet worth of pressure hose. Hose gonna run you, let's just say $50 for 50 feet, $1 a foot. Okay, $150. So $550 plus another $150, $700. $700. You got your pressure set up, all that stuff, a gun, $750. Get you a water hose out of Walmart. Hell, the water hose that I got, that's 100 feet of 5/8 hose. Or is that 3/4 hose? 5/8 hose. That's 100 feet of 5/8 hose, and it only costs $30. So $800, I could run this whole thing all over again. I guarantee you, if I were to start over completely, all over again, I could run an entire setup that can run with some of the bigger guys, bigger companies, whatever, and do it $800 and less. Especially if you start looking at Marketplace and you get stuff off Marketplace. So I'm happy. I'm not gonna throw my other machine away. I'm definitely gonna keep it. It definitely will be a backup machine. It will be a emergency type situation. I might build another setup for it. Like I said, if I get to a point where I decide I want to pull a trailer with it or something, and I might want to have 2 people running at one time, I might, let's say I'm doing neighbor houses, I park my van right here, do this house, and then park the trailer right there and let somebody else do that house, and now we knocking them out back to back to back and do a whole cul-de-sac worth of houses in half a day. So either way, that's just brainstorming. But I love it, man. If you want to see the bucket test, you want me to actually record it, drop a comment. Let me know. Hey, I want you to do the bucket test so I can see it in person. I get it, man. I'm happy. I can't wait to go do some houses for some money. We gonna see. Anyway, Rashid here with M2G Exterior Cleaning Services, man. Have a great day.